Well, it's such a natural question because we're all sitting here together. I favor looking at it. I do. And this is what I think. The last time we looked at it was in the early 1990s, and I think there was a financial reason why it wasn't done. But just because we've looked at it in the past doesn't mean that we shouldn't look at it again. I think there's natural trigger points that come into play. We have superintendents who are exactly the same age, born the same month. I mean, in 4 years we're going to be talking. Not the same day, but that's not important.
Katie, I'm gonna backtrack, and I hate to jump on you that this is my bad, but
that's okay.
I frame the question as, would you favor looking at it? And that just invites, people who are always willing to look at it, especially if we can hire a consultant to do it. Are you inclined to favor or oppose consolidation?
I think okay. Listen, if it financially would work, if it's not going to, I heard it would be a $30 million difference. This is what I heard done in 1990 to our budget. Something like it. Don't quote me, it could be 18 million, but either 18 to 30% of our budget. Then there may be issues. But I don't know that. If that's not the case, yes, there's real benefit to K through 12 unit district. So it's hard for me to say to you, I got 30 seconds, right?
You're saying it to them. I'm just a messenger.
Okay. If the stars align financially, yes.
Yeah, we should look at it. In pondering this question, though, I think that we probably will see some cost savings. But the thing that I would look at is outcomes. I mean, if you look at some of the statistics in the data doesn't necessarily show that K through 12 systems perform better than separated systems. But will we save money? I say that if you want to look at it, let's look at it. But what I look at is the impact, not just saving money, but what are the outcomes for the families and the kids of the district. And based on what I'm seeing, we should be a little bit skeptical, but we should certainly take a peek.
Whoever wants to.
I'll take it next. I agree with Keith. I've talked about this issue in the community with community leaders, educators, and it's finance. We're educating children, and so if it may make sense financially, but I want to know how it's going to affect the education of our kids. And based on that answer, I'll be able to tell you whether or not I will support consolidating districts.
And I'm kind of in the same camp. I think I've lived here for 31 years. It's just come up, a lot. It's a natural question that's going to arise when you have two separate districts like this. And certainly intuitively, there's a lot of things that would suggest that it makes sense on a certain level. But before I can say definitively whether I would vote for it or not, we've got to study the impact. And I'm reminded there of an old adage that a wise old guy told me, 2 rules. Number 1, beware of unintended consequences. And rule 2 is there's always unintended consequences. So, we have to study those and understand them and see, A, what the impact on our students is. Now, our number 1 priority has to be the welfare and the best education for our students. And then secondarily, what do we save in money? And then we look at the trade-offs. So it's a complex question, but I absolutely favor looking at it, as Katie suggested, from time to time. Not just once, but from time to time, because things change. And we should fully vet that issue.
Now, Jane, you've already looked at it, right? Were you around?
Yes. It's a sort of perennial question. The big deal, though, is that we have to have parity with teachers' salaries, and that's a huge difference between District 65 salaries and District 202 salaries. So we're not really saving money there, and the combination of administrative salaries, it's okay. We say that, but that doesn't compare at all when we try to raise the salaries of 65 teachers to that of 202 teachers. I can't imagine that the 202 teachers would want to take less, so that we won't achieve parity that way. So again, it's a complex question. I think, however, with our reforms, I'm getting a buzz. We can't wait. We have to continue our reforms, what we discussed this question. It's not the answer to what ails either district. So we have to continue to do what we're doing to improve education while we examine that issue.
I really think this has to be educationally driven and subject to financial analysis. Our two districts should function as one, whether they are or not. I can't imagine how our students wouldn't benefit from being part of a single district. We wouldn't have the disputes we have now about what assessment systems where one district says it was valid and another district says it isn't. We could work more seriously toward college readiness because we can work backwards. We can say, here's where we want you to be in 12th grade, in 10th grade, in 8th grade, in 5th grade, in 3rd grade. Our students, I think, deserve to experience a seamless educational experience. If that can be done without consolidation, great. But if it takes consolidation, then I think we absolutely have to look at the financial aspects of it to see if it's practical, because I don't think it's something we can do well.
As usual, I think Jonathan stated that very well. It is interesting, again, if you look at some of the data, Illinois has about twice as many school districts as the national average for other states. So Illinois as a whole probably could benefit from some consolidation. I think we would need to look very carefully at the complex issues that relate to the benefits and the challenges from a curricular perspective, operationally, financially, and culturally, because they are different institutions. And in order to make it work, you really have to understand how they would come together. And so I can't say yes or no because I just think it's far too complex, but I do think we need to explore it with rigor.
I'm for it. I think it should be on a referendum 2012. I believe it takes the board to vote on, each board votes on it for a referendum. I think it's a long time coming. We have a continuity here in our district. I think the kids will benefit from it. I'm not sure the cost savings part of it, but I believe because there's cross purposes. We have, during the big debate over the humanities course at Evanston, I really thought that District 65 kind of got backhanded a lot during that, and that they weren't necessarily putting out the best students for them, and that now Evanston High School had to kind of correct the problem. And so I think we can eliminate that. And I think it's too easy to point fingers downstream. Do I think District 65 do a better job? Absolutely. We need to have our kids better prepared for high school. But I'm for it. I don't think we should wait on it. I think we should, again, put it for a vote. I think it's something that on a referendum, just like the new school in the 5th Ward, as we referred, I think that's an idea, whether you believe it or not, it's good to have people voting.
I just want to second what Richard said about being way overrepresented. In the state of Illinois has about 870 districts, and the U.S. is 13,000, so we're close to 1/13 of the number of school districts, and I don't believe our population is anywhere near that. The teacher parity issue, I can't be convinced that we can't work around that there could be differential pay or multiple contracts, so I am in favor of looking at it